things. All right. And again, when we're done, I'm going to log in and we're going to look at some of these things. Facebook. I'm going to show you I saw it in the news today in my net. It said today, and I posted it on Facebook, a video that came from some news show about a Facebook video that they made, that they're officially today going to the timeline, right? And which is the new profile. I've had mine activated for a few months, but those who have been against it, I'm sorry, it's pretty much rolling out today. Now, Facebook changes stuff. I know a real estate agent, and she was asking me a question, and I said, well, I posted an article about that on Facebook, and she said, I don't use Facebook anymore. I don't like the changes they made, right? Well, gee, I know we're very sensitive, right? The only thing we hate more than change is the way things are. Isn't that right? But it's a free service, and literally her point was they should have asked me, right? Zuckerberg should have called her and said, is it okay? And you know why they didn't ask anybody? Because they would have said no, right? That's why they didn't ask anybody. So you have to live with it. You're going to need to upload a cover photo. I'll show you an example. Add important life events. We're going to go through the timeline. Check out your activity log. You can get rid of things you don't want. You can delete them. You can change. You can see them. And you can control privacy on every post, right? Best practices on Facebook posts. Understand what you want. Don't just say me, me, me. Everybody was listening. You've all heard this old saw about listening to the same radio station, WIFM, right? What's in it for me? And so your content has to be geared to what they're looking for and what they're interested in, and it can't just be all business. Look at visibility, likes, and comments on posts to see what's working and what's not. One of my bonus tips, it's not on a slide, is a program called Bitly, bit.ly. And there's many of them. It's a URL shortener, bit.ly. And I might have time to log into my Bitly account, but if I take a link, let's say the National Association of Realtors publishes an article about what's happening in the housing market, and I like that article, I can copy that URL and post it into Facebook, but then I only know if people are interested in it if they like, share, or comment. But I don't know if they clicked on it and read it. But if I take that URL and I go to bit.ly and I post it in there and they give me a URL shortener and I use that on Facebook, when I log into Bitly, it'll tell me exactly how many people clicked on that link. So what that allows me to do is to look at my posts and see which ones people are interacting with. If I don't do that, I don't know unless they like, share, or comment. And a lot of people may click on the link but not like, share, or comment. So I might be thinking that some of my Christmas humor is killer stuff, right? You know, that may be my impression, but when I look at my Bitly account, nobody's clicking through on it, all right? And so you want to look at, obviously you want to check likes, comments, and shares, but bit.ly, there's a bunch of them. I know Google has their own URL shortener, but they won't tell you how many people clicked on it, right? Bitly will keep a track of all of your posts and who, how many, when, what am I trying to say? What IP address they were, so you can tell if they were local people or people international. It'll give you all that good stuff. Facebook action buttons. If you want to dress up your posts, there's magic updates. If you go to Facebook and you type in magic updates, haven't you ever wanted to see a post that had a dislike button? You know, right? You know, Stanford beats USC. I want the dislike button, right? And you can put in a dislike button on your posts. It's a way of adding fun things that make your posts stand out. That's another free tip. You want to post updates frequently, but that means like every other day. Use links, photos, and video. Be fun and resourceful. You should do something when anybody has a birthday. You should say happy birthday. You can make a little video. You can share funny birthday videos. You can send cards and things like that, photos. You should promote it offline. You should get a custom username. This is for you should get a Facebook fan page, and you can have your own custom username so that you could put it on your email signature business cards, websites, newsletters, emails, and things like that, so that you're put it on your car signs, your billboards, your stained glass windows, the flyers that you drop out of airplanes, right? All that stuff. You want to put your Facebook. We're talking about the business name. There are three things of Facebook. There's the profile. The profile is a personal thing. There are groups and there are business pages, also called fan pages, also just called pages now. They keep changing the name. The personal profile, according to Section 4.2 of the Facebook Statement of Rights and Responsibilities, you will not use your personal profile for your own commercial gain. I see real estate agents that have the name of their company in their personal profile name. Or they use the word realtor. The word realtor is a copyrighted designation of the National Association of Realtors. You're not supposed to use it in your Facebook name. You're not supposed to put your company name. You're not supposed to say Intero or Century 21 or Keller Williams in your name. You're not supposed to openly solicit business on your personal profile. Now, people say that means you can't tell people you're going to an open house. Yes, you can, because you're going to an open house. But if you run things, make posts that say, anybody thinking about buying a home, look at, I got it, give me a, right? Eventually, they'll get you. Now, I know of a lot of agents who get away with this because Facebook has 1 billion users, right? You understand, if it was a country, it would be the 4th largest country. And so they haven't gotten to those people yet. But you don't want to. I know of a loan agent who's been kicked off Facebook for violating the profile. You want to, this is a nice little chart that explains the difference. You want all of your direct solicitations to go on your page. And I'm going to log in and show you a little bit about this, but your page, you can log in either as your page or as you. So you log in as your page and you post stuff on your page. Then you log out of the page and you log in as you, and you go to your page and you like, share, or comment on your page's post. Now, what that does is it takes what you posted on your page and it puts it into your news feed, and it goes out to the people that are on your friend lists. So can you have multiple user profiles on a fan page? Yes. On a group? Yes, but not on a profile. They only want you to have one profile. And if you create multiple profiles, they may not catch you. But if they catch you, they can delete your Facebook account. Search engine visibility. Notice for the page, the answer is yes. Things that you put on your Facebook page, especially in notes, not the wall posts, but in notes, is indexed and searched by Google. Tips for buying a home, tips for selling a home, how to short sale tips, buying an REO, any of that stuff. If you put it in the notes section of your business page, Google will index it and it will come up in search engines. Things that you post on a wall are not indexed. Posts on Twitter are indexed. Posts on Twitter are indexed by Google, but posts on Facebook and pages are not. You can message everybody that's on your group. You can measure. There's metrics that come with the page. I hope the point I'm trying to get at is you probably all need to have your own business page. Right? And groups would be something you don't want to say, I want to create a group for Mike Devlin Real Estate. Nobody's going to join that group, right? But hiking in Campbell, knitting, things that you're actually interested in, join those groups, meet people. Have you ever heard this being told to real estate agents? Join groups, meet people, interact. The Facebook group, that's just an example of one for a different association of realtors. But pages are best for business. You're limited to 5,000 friends. I know that sounds like a lot, but if you get rolling, it's not. But you can have an unlimited number of fans. You shouldn't expect to get a lot of them. Real estate agents notoriously do poorly on getting fans. I know why. I get them all the time from real estate agents. I've got like several hundred real estate agents as friends, and you'll see something that says Sally Smith likes Sally Smith Real Estate and thinks you should like it too, right? Isn't it? Because when they created the page, how many of you get things like that, right? How many people do you think click on those and like it? Nobody does, right? How about this? Very few people do. Why do people like pages? There's only two reasons. One is to get unique content. And there is a way that you can set this up so that if somebody likes your page, a tab will appear that they could not otherwise see, right? And so you could say instant access to home buying tips like the page. Instant access like the page. Your page, by the way, can have opt-in forms using a program called MailChimp, Aweber, or Wufoo, or where you can have I want to sign up for a newsletter, right? But the idea really of having a page is to get people from your page to your real website, right? That's really the idea. What else was I going to say about pages? People aren't going to become fans of your page in good numbers, right? But that's why you have to mention things that are on your page and get it into your news stream. If it's not in your news feed, people are not going to really see it. And you get metrics that show, assuming you've got people. Good content, tips and trick, removing the. I think that I'm going to go to lists. Why don't I do this? Let me go. You've all got copies of these handouts. I want to spend some time. By the way, seemylistings.com is an app sponsored by the National Association of Realtors. There's a bunch of them that'll put your listings on your business page. Let's go, and I have a list of a daily engagement plan. Inviting and updating your status, birthday wishes, comments, but the point I really want to make is you need to spend time every day liking, sharing, and commenting on other people's posts, right? That should be most of your time. You don't have to be posting all the time, but you need to interact with people that are already posting. Twitter, you can build relationships with Twitter, drive traffic to your blog, market your brand, answer questions, seek out industry colleagues, understand social media marketing. In my Twitter account, I receive tweets from a bunch of industry sources. Duct Tape Marketing, the National Association of Realtors, the California Association of Realtors. And when I log into my Twitter stream, even if I'm not using it that day to push my message out, I'm getting a stream of useful information that I can then, of links and videos and post content that I can put on my Facebook page. Why use it for fun? It's hard to gin the system. If you don't like Twitter and you don't learn to use Twitter, you're not going to get any business from Twitter, right? You have to be a twit in order to get business from Twitter. You have to tweet. You have to get into it. And that doesn't mean, what you're having for breakfast. People take a picture of their breakfast and that's not what I mean. But you need to get information from Twitter. You need to follow some interesting people, and you need to start putting out some interesting information. And it's a little bit different. And I have some lists of some sample things to tweet, text what you're doing, images, videos. You can share videos of even for virtual tours, client testimonials, birthday greetings. That's for they call them tweeple, the tweeple that you interact with. Blog posts, witty comments or jokes, industry resources, RSS reader. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. Inspirational quotes, announcements, ask questions, music, coupons. And I have some general rules of engagement where you ought to be yourself, be a listener. You need to flesh out your Twitter profile. You need to probably customize it. If you Google search free Twitter backgrounds, right, you're going to find hundreds of them that you can use. And again, you don't want it to say the name of your company. You don't want it to say that you're a realtor, right? You can say in the explanation of who you are that you're in the real estate business, but making it part of your name is not. Again, think of going to the party wearing your company outfit with your name badge and flyers in your hand. And so those are just, I'm not going to go through all of these, but a lot of these are self-explanatory. What I wanted to do, and before, I wanted to show how I use some of these things. And one of the first things I want to do, this is one of my best tips, and I need to sign in. Um, All right. This is probably this is worth the price of the seminar. How much? Oh, never mind. I'm not sure about that. So I want to go to my iGoogle, and one of the things that you might want to do, if you haven't done it, is to trick out your iGoogle. I like this little thing which has a list of all my Google services. Notice Google Plus is right up here. We'll get to that in a moment. Google Reader, the first thing I'm going to do is go to Google Alerts. And what I get to do with Google Alerts is I can make a list of, is now a good time to buy a house? Is now a good time to sell a house? The real estate market in San Jose. Home buying tips, home selling tips. Let's just, it takes a while for it to kick in. I'll show you mine. But how about this? Home selling tips, okay? So what I do, I want everything if you leave it by default, it's going to email it to me. I use an RSS. I use Google Reader. So I'm going to click feed, and I'm going to say create the alert. Now, here are some of the few alerts that I've created, all right? And now this sometimes freaks people out when they see this, but I just want you to know that I haven't gone through my reader in a day, and I have overdone this, all right? But when I go to my reader, I know it's going to be ridiculous. People go, oh my God, 594. All right, now let's just say general real estate. So here are all of the articles that have come in through my reader. Bay Area sees drop in high-end home sales. All right, top 10 U.S. home hotspots for home buyers. November foreclosure activity hints at rising tide. California brokerage fences above. So if I look through these, and let's say, what would you do with 2+ acres? Even home sales data is bogus, realtors say. And I don't spend a lot. I look through the quicker. 15 tips for living green. All right, let's pick that one. Now, notice what it does in my reader. This +1, if you see that, what you're doing is you're basically voting for somebody's site in Google Plus, right? So, and Google, by the way, if you have a site and people are plussing your site, it increases your search engine rankings. Right. This is another reason for Google Plus is that people do use Google search, and guess what? Google likes Google Plus. Now, let's say I wanted to share this article in Google Plus. You see that button? All I have to do is click on this button, and it's going to go right to Google Plus. I'm going to just do it with that group. I could also email people. They want me to know if I want to sign up more people in Google Plus. I have just put that on Google Plus. All right. Now, if I click on it and it comes up, and this is currently unavailable. There we go. Carla Hill, I know her. So if I click on this, I use a program which isn't installed here because this isn't my browser, called Shareaholic. Shareaholic, just like it sounds. And it's available for Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, and Safari. At least those I know. And what it allows you to do is to have your Facebook, your Gmail, everything. And when you right click, Shareaholic pops up, or it's a button up at the top depending on which browser. So I could email this article to somebody. I could post it on Facebook. I could send it to Twitter, right? I can do all that with a click and a click and a click. Right, and if you go down to the bottom, and like Realty Times doesn't have a lot of easy links at the bottom, they have the share buttons down here. A lot of times that messes it up. and it's used. It self promotes Realty Times more than it does, and it doesn't always look so good. The other thing that you're going to find is that copying the URL and then putting it into Bitly and getting a URL shortener so that you can track how many people read your article, because now you can figure out if they care about green living or not, right? That's another step and better. And then directly posting it into Facebook works better because it'll let you pick which thumbnail you want for the post, or none. If you use these share buttons or if you use the share buttons at the bottom, they're going to pick a picture for you, and it might be an ad on the side, right? But if you use Shareaholic, you can pick the thumbnail, but Shareaholic doesn't give you the URL shortener that tracks clicks, right? bit.ly. So you see how easy that was, right? And so I go through here and I have things about local news, marketing, realtor stuff, general news, social bookmarking, social media. People say, well, where do you get all this stuff? Right? You understand? If you create the right alerts, all I have to do is scroll through it in the morning, and I see all of these articles. I just go through them quickly to find something that looks like it's going to be useful. I open it up, I post it, and I'm off and running. All right. Now let's do, where's Facebook? Facebook. Okay. I want to cover the Facebook timeline. I've already updated my timeline, but there's two things that are going on here. Over here in the far right is the ticker, which a lot of people hate. I love it. And what I've done is I've liked a whole bunch of different sites that provide information on real estate, funny pictures, funny quotes, sayings, all sorts of weird stuff. And it's hard for me to read it. But all I have to do is scroll through, what does that one say? Positive Outlook, right? That's sort of a positive one. And it'll pop up what it looks like. And all I have to do is go over here and click on share. And now it's going to pop up and it's going to ask me, who do I want to share it with? This is really important because I've created lists. And this is something I'm going to let everybody see. So I'm going to click on public and I'm going to hit share photo. And now that's now been added on my timeline. I can keep scrolling, right? I have an unlimited supply of, stuff to put on Facebook. And I have lists. All right, real estate is a list. So this is one of the biggest things. If I click on this, these are all the people that I've got that are on my real estate list. If I do a status update from here, it's only going to people that are on my real estate list. And my real estate list is really aimed at real estate agents. I have 610 people on this list. And so if it's something that's, so the biggest comment I get from people about Facebook is, well, I don't know, I don't want pictures of my nephew's wedding and, my clients, and I don't, you have to create different lists. You have a list for your family, you have a list for real friends, right? You can have a list for buyers, a list for sellers, a list for past clients. People can be on more than one list. All right. And so this takes a little more time, but I can post something to a specific list, and then the other people do not see it, right? And I actually had a real estate agent, he did a post on Facebook about, is Uncle Lou getting out of prison yet? That was the question he was asking somebody who had made a post. I'm not kidding, right? Because they were going back and forth, and they had forgotten that they were having a public conversation about Uncle Lou's parole, right? Now, you understand that's messaging, which is up here. Right. And by the way, you have two inboxes. So one of the things you need to do is, you see where it says other, sometimes they stick other messages there, which you may not have known about. Right. But this is where all the messages are. And these are all the different people that I've got messages with, and remember, people want to communicate with messages. All right, let's look at the timeline. If yours doesn't look like this, it soon should. That's my real picture. I'm from Santa Cruz. And what I do is I change my profile picture. I had a whole bunch of pumpkin carving ones. And this, is a cover picture which I uploaded, which is Silicon Valley at night. And so what you want to do, by the way, when you want to put up a cover picture, and you can pick a picture that you already have on Facebook or any other picture. They don't want it to be a promotion, right? It shouldn't be a for sale sign, call me, best agent in the world, sell your home cheap, rebates to all buyers. They'll get you for doing stuff like that, right? So one of the things you want to do, the first thing you want to do is you want to upload your cover picture. And then also you want to, this is your profile, which you can if you click on update information, you can update it. And one of the questions that sometimes I get, it says, for example, mine, it says Career Counselor Keller Williams Realty Silicon Valley. If somebody clicks on that, it takes them to the company's generic website. Let's say you created a business page for yourself. Mike Devlin, career, whatever, specialist. And you do that first, and then when you say, where do you work, you pick that business page. So when people click on it, it takes them not to the general company website. I mean, it's not a bad website, but that's not where you want them to go, right? It'll go right to your business page. That, by the way, is also worth that tip, the cost of the seminar, isn't it? Maybe double, right? And that way, maybe triple. So this is where you here's are your friends. I have 879. If I click on this, it's going to show me all these different friends. And what I can do is I can take a look at a friend, and if I click on them, I can change what list they're on. I can change what they see. The biggest tip for getting stuff out of Facebook is to learn to create and manage your friend lists. Whenever you make a friend with somebody, you can. And maybe I'll show you how to do that. We go back. Well, I'll do that maybe if we're running out of time. But you understand, you want to create lists. You want to post to people based on the lists, and you can control what people see. Where there are certain things about your profile, if you go up to home and down to privacy settings, you can control who sees what on your profile. What we're looking at now, what you're looking at now, you're not supposed to see. This is only what I see, right? This is my view. Right? Because sometimes people say, oh, my God, look at that. You can change this. You get to see everything, but you can, through privacy settings, change what other people get to say. Here are photos, maps of places where I've been, things that I've liked. I only got 350. Notes that I've made, subscribers, subscriptions. That's all there. Now, I can also do posts from here. Now, I found that it's easier for me to go to my main page and click on the list that I want and then post to that list. But from here, I can do a post, and I could pick down from the list who I want it to go to. I can add life events, things that I think are important about me that I want people to know that aren't involving a post or something. If I click on this, it'll give me some examples, right? Travel experiences, and you can look at all these different things. You could spend some time. Ever wanted to have an online resume, right? This could be one. Let's go back here. Back here. All right. So life events, places. And what I can do is I can go through this. I'll use this one as an example. So you see there's a star. It's a 2-column layout, but I can make things go all the way across. In other words, I can feature it on my timeline. If I click on this, it's going to feature it on the timeline. Notice it made it much bigger, right? If I decide I don't want it to be featured, I click on it, and now it's back to half size. So I can determine what it's going to look like. I also can go up here where the pencil icon is, and I can edit or remove it. All right, there aren't a lot of things I can do to change it, but I can hide it, I can delete it, I can tell Facebook I'm spamming, right? So, and you can go back and add, you should look at your timeline. Remember, I know it was like 2 hours ago when I started, something like that, and I had a list of It wasn't quite that long. But I had a list of things to do and for your timeline, and one of them was to go through and take a look at it and see which posts you want to highlight, which ones you only want certain people to see, which ones you want to hide. All right. How are we doing? Let me do one last